Hello, listeners. This is Kat, and welcome back to Put Your Hands Up Podfix. This will be the continuation of Call Our Crimes a Work of Art. This will be Part 11, Chapters 23 and 24. Kirishima. I'm sorry. You want me to believe that you broke into a hero agency in order to report a crime? Kirishima says, staring at the girl seated across from him. He'd come back from patrol in order to question the person Bakugo caught sneaking around. He thinks he saw her during the sports festival, from one of the business courses. Yes, I was walking through the park by the library. Someone bumped into me. A few blocks away, I decided to buy some ice cream, and that's when I realized that my wallet was missing. And then, when I reported it to the police officer on duty, they told me to tell you guys because the person I described matched a description of someone in a case you're handling, she says. Why were you out of the lobby? Because there was no one down there for me to talk to, and I wasn't going to spend 5 hours waiting for a hero to come down so I could let someone know I was here. I also have a job that I need to be on time for, she snaps. All right. We are sorry. Please describe the person you saw. He was about my height, blonde hair, wearing a tuxedo, and he has some pocket watches on it. That sounds like Monoma. Thank you. I apologize for your treatment, Kirishima says, removing the cuffs on her wrists. She grumbles and leaves, glaring at Bakugo. Kirishima sighs and goes to Cementos for advice. Apparently hero agencies hire non-heroes to do reception and administration. Kirishima isn't so sure about trusting people from other courses right now, but he doesn't have a choice. Clearly, Midoriya planned for all this, and he's a step ahead. He needs all the heroes out there he can get. He can't have one focusing on the admin stuff. He'll have to put out a job application. He sends a message to Uraraka to do that. She's one of the friendliest of them all, so she can handle interviewing and stuff. And it'll let her feel useful while waiting for her quirk exhaustion to be over. Izuku. Izuku whistles as he walks down the street to the bank where he's supposed to meet Mirio. The sun is almost down. This will be his last criminal act of the day. He doesn't want to amass points too quickly, otherwise Nezu would end things on day 1. Killing Vlad King put them ahead of where he had planned to be, so now he has to be careful. He would hope that Team Stealth had avoided the rat's notice, but that's unlikely. There's a few documents sitting in his briefcase. A little research had told him how much chaos this one act is going to cause. Hey, you! What are you doing out so late? Oh no, that's Ida. He turns his head to Ingenium. Time to see how good Mike's makeup and acting lessons were. Good evening, Hiro-san. I just got off late from work and was planning to meet with my bank manager to discuss personal matters. I was unaware that there was a curfew in effect, he says. Ida seems startled. There isn't a curfew, but why would someone be out so late? It's not late, Hiro-san. The sun has only just gone down, and some people work at night, in hospitals, convenience stores, or police stations, or get off from work at night, while others try to get the last-minute errands they couldn't get done during the day, like me. I need to discuss business. Unfortunately, our schedules don't allow for a meeting on your schedule. Izuku only hopes that Ida has been doing this to every person he sees. One more item for Media Storm. Yamaza! There you are. I don't have all evening to spend waiting for you. If you want to discuss business, then I suggest you hurry up, Mirio demands from the bank. Sorry, Togeda, Izuku squeals out. Sorry, Hiro-san, I must really be going, he says, and rushes off to head into the bank behind Mirio. He sees Ida take off after another civilian. Hero team doesn't seem to be doing so good, Mirio says. They're still adjusting. They trained under a specific type of hero, different from the ones we did. Mirio smiles softly. Yeah, sir was amazing. Have you decided whether or not you're going to take the job? I've already completed it. Mirio blinks. What? Izuku checks to make sure the security cameras are off. The blank red light tells him May was successful. My team has only so long to achieve certain missions. We cannot afford to waste time. Of course, I will pay you. Please, come into my office, Mirio says, unlocking the door. Izuku follows the blonde inside and sits on the desk, and watches Mirio sit on the side of his desk. Now, since you are so prepared, I suppose you have evidence of her death? Izuku smiles softly. Of course. He pulls out photos from his briefcase. Photos of Nejiri covered in green paint tied to a chair. Mirio's eyes widen and he opens a drawer in his desk. I suppose that will suffice as proof. Here's your payment, Mirio says, and Izuku carefully slips his gun from his briefcase. Mirio rocks back in his seat from the force of the paint bullet hitting his stomach. His mouth drops open and Izuku uses his feet to shove the chair away from the desk in case there's an alarm, and he leaps over the desk, presses the trigger again, splattering paint all over Mirio's forehead. Once he hears Snipe say Mirio is dead, he drops to his knees. "I'm so sorry." "No, please, Izuku, you were great," Mirio grins. Izuku smiles softly. He collects all the photos of Nigiri and Tamaki in the place. He doesn't want this to link back to anything questionable. Once done, he collects the money and turns on his comm. "Team Home Invasion. Did you remove any evidence?" "We did, Rogue." Shadow Monk's exhausted voice comes over the comm. "Good. I just killed our benefactor. I'll be on my way back to base after I film evidence for Tamaki," Izuku says. "Any orders for us?" "No. I think we've done enough for the night. Tomorrow's another day." He hears general agreement, and he focuses on photographing the death. His eyes keep dancing to the computer on his desk. "Artificer?" "Yeah, Rogue?" "I'm going to insert one of your remote drives into the computer. Can you hack their servers?" "Ooh, going for another objective already?" "Might as well." "Go for it, Rogue." Izuku plugs in the drive and goes about cleaning and photographing. He'll take this to Tamaki tomorrow and collect his payment, which will satisfy an objective. The hacking servers is another. He's lost count of points. Have they won already? It would be a shame to win on day one. He honestly hadn't planned on those points from Vlad King's death. He would really like for Operation Media Storm to happen, even if they have already won. He put a lot of work into this, and so did the rest of their team, and besides, he doesn't want the hero team to fail. He just wants his team to win. "All done, Rogue. I decided to have a little fun and froze a few accounts." Izuku winces. That's gonna be hard on some of his classmates, especially if they didn't bring enough provisions. "Good work, Artificer. Get some sleep. You have your first field trip tomorrow." "I'll sleep when you're back at base." "Aw, but I changed my mind about turning in early, and was gonna hunt some heroes, see if there's any I can take out to make this more fun." "Take out their recon. It'll make my job easier." "Of course, Artificer. I'll try. Depends on who's out patrolling," Izuku says, and pulls his suit up from under his business clothes, strips off his business clothes, and melds into the shadows. "Shadow Monk, if you're able, would you join me?" "Of course, Rogue." Time to play some hide-and-seek. Chapter 24. Jiro. Look, Jiro knows she isn't particularly built for combat. Her sound bursts can only go up to a certain volume, loud noises are horrible for her, and she's not exactly the bubbly sort of girl that makes it big in the hero industry. But the one thing she has is her hearing. She can hear a pin drop from a mile away. She can hear gossip in other rooms. She can hear everything. So when she steps into the alley and hears nothing at all, she's scared. She should be able to hear something, but no, she doesn't hear anything. Well, more accurately, she can't hear the heartbeats of the people in the building next to her. She can't hear a car on the street 2 blocks over. She hears normally. Her quirk isn't working. And she's not dumb. She knows what that means. Her hand has barely twitched to activate her comm when she feels something hard hit her in the back of the head. "Jiro, you're out. Please remain there until a faculty member comes to collect you," Snipe says in her comm. Coda. Coda is quiet. He doesn't like attention, doesn't like a lot of questions or confrontation. That's why he joined the hero team, because the villain team was going to get a lot of teasing. He didn't want to be teased, so he joined the hero team. Which is how he ended up in the park, waiting for his animals to tell him if they found anything. He sees a rat he had sent out coming back with an old takeout container. He opens his mouth to ask what it's doing with that, but nothing comes out. Or, well, it does, but it's his normal voice, not the one that allows him to speak to animals. Oh no. The rat has run off now, the takeout left behind. He reaches to activate his comms, but suddenly the takeout container is exploding with paint. "Coda," he hears Snipe say, "you've been eliminated. Please remain there until a faculty member comes to collect you." He drops his hand. Shoji. Shoji never thought about how terrifying he must look at night. With his arms open, even his shadow looks scary. He wishes it didn't. Even his mouth is scary, which is ridiculous. Kirishima has the same type of teeth he does, and he's never spoken about young kids being terrified of him. But they are of Shoji. He shakes his head. He has a job to do right now, and that's to find the villains or a clue to where they are. It's hard. Yeah, he can hear people, but there are so many ways around that. Soundproofing would muffle it enough to make it impossible to identify the speakers. Writing, All he would be able to hear is the pen sounds. This sucks. And he has to listen to Bakugo rant every 5 minutes, which is hard on his ears, both normal and extra. He wishes he had gone with Midoriya. Midoriya would have had him doing things outside of recon. But it's too late now, and he's not sure he would take it. Betraying his team is too much for him. He's so lost in thought that he doesn't keep his quirk up. It drops for a second, and that's all that's needed for a grenade to be thrown at him. And suddenly everything is green. "Shoji, you've been killed. Please remain there until a faculty member comes to collect you." Oh. Midoriya looks at him with a sad expression. "After this assignment, you and me, we're going to experiment with your quirk," he says. And Shoji smiles softly. He'd like that. Shiozaki. Hiding in the night is not the work of a hero, but Shiozaki had to rest during the day because her leader had kept her at the site of that fire, and that unfortunately damaged her. She has to spend the rest of the day drinking water to get her vines healthy again, and after spending the day doing that, she felt that she had to do something to help. So she had taken night patrol. She's sitting in a school playground, vines spread out through the city. Her plan is simple. Wait for someone to step on a vine, then grab them and bring them to her. Simple. It's late enough that anyone out would be a troublemaker, so she doesn't have to be as worried about accidentally harming a civilian. And then she feels it. Someone stepping on one of her vines. She wraps them up and reels them in. It's rather dark. One would think a playground would have better lighting, but no. Because of it, she can't see who she has caught. It's too dark, and they seem to have a large hat. She brings them closer, and her eyes widen. There in her vines is a robotic civilian. "I am so sorry," she says, releasing them and stepping closer to apologize. The hat explodes green all over her. She stares at it. "Shiozaki, you've been eliminated. Please remain there until a faculty member comes to collect you." Shishida. Shishida sniffs the air around him. Finally, Monama's disgusting cologne. He really should be more considerate to those who have enhanced senses. His cologne is incredibly strong. He hates it. But it doesn't matter. He found one of the villains. He'll bring him in, and try and interrogate him for the location of the others. Perfect. He turns the corner into the alley that Monoma is in. Something wet splashes onto his face. Oh God. All he can smell is the cologne. It's horrible. He can't breathe. He blinks it out of his eyes and looks around for Monoma. Where did he go? A sound from above has him looking up in time for two shoes to crash into his face. Damn. He's going to have to go to the full extent of his transformation. He doesn't even get the chance. Just as he's starting to transform, something rockets into his back and he jolts into a kick to the face, from whom he's now pretty sure isn't Monoma, and he sees a gun being drawn, and before he can do anything, he's shot right between the eyes. Or he would have been, if he hadn't moved out of the way. He glances behind them, to see a turret set up to throw rocks at him. A well-placed brick, and the thing is toast. Green paint stains the bricks innocently. He reaches his full size and sees the person in front of him tense. He still can't smell anything through the cologne, but that's fine. If Asui wasn't on the hero team, he would think this was her, with how much jumping this person is doing from wall to wall. But aerial only works if your opponent can't reach you, and he's pretty tall. One solid knock to the back, and the person crashes into the trash cans. He takes a step forward, only to feel something hit between his shoulder blades. He turns to throw another brick at it, but it's not another turret, it's a person. With a gun. He touches his back. It's stained black. "Shishida, you're out. Please remain there until a faculty member comes to collect you," Snipe says. The mysterious arrival goes to where the person fell and checks them over. "I'm fine." "Problem child?" "Really, I just got the wind knocked out of me. I'll take it easy tomorrow." The one he fought says as the two exit the alley. Before they vanish, the shorter of the two turns to him. "You did really well, Shishida. You put up the most fight of anyone I went after tonight," he says, and the two disappear down another alley. All right, listeners, this concludes Chapter 24 of Call Our Crimes a Work of Art. Chapter 25 will be up next. I hope you all enjoyed this. I really like this chapter set because I really like seeing Izuku and Aizawa hunting down the different heroes. I think the author does a really nice job writing that, so let me know your thoughts and reactions to everything so far. And as always, thank you so much for listening.